5:01 right now. We want to take you live to London as all eyes are on London right now, the country laying to rest Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, the state funeral drew presidents, kings, princes, and prime ministers from around the world. And as you can see here, millions of people lining the streets as the Queen's casket now is being drawn through the streets of London from Westminster Abbey towards Buckingham Palace and eventually towards Windsor Castle.
Right. What they're going to do now is they're taking this with this is a gun carriage that her coffin is on, with the orb, the scepter, and the crown. There's about 142 members of the Royal Navy that are walking, that are pulling this through the streets of London. This is the final chance that hundreds of thousands of people will have to say goodbye to her. Then when it gets to the edge of Hyde Park, it will be put on a hearse and driven to Windsor Castle, where she will be buried next to her husband, and her mother and father are there as well. So that journey should be about, I would say, an hour.
About that,
yeah, and so we'll be taking this live throughout the morning just to show you the coverage, but we're also giving you our Bay Area news.
Yes.
So the better place is to go live streaming if you'd like that.
KRON4.com, yeah, that's where we've got uninterrupted coverage of this entire funeral procession, so make sure to check in there. In fact, we have a QR code. We can show that here, an easy way for you to scan that and go right to our website at KRON4.com.
It's incredible that, you know, they already had the funeral in Westminster, and hundreds of thousands of people now who couldn't see the funeral, obviously, they were watching. They weren't inside Westminster Abbey. They are lining the streets now, and also all around Britain there are huge big screen TVs, and people are gathering to watch this as it unfolds.
So more coverage of that to come throughout the morning. In the meantime, we have local news as well to cover, including a follow-up in the South Bay. That story of students now coming back to class in San Jose after one of their fellow students died after being hit by a car. Yeah,
it happened near an elementary school in KRON4's Will Tran is live in San Jose with the details. Will.
James Dario, we are down the street from the elementary. This is the first full day back after what happened on Friday morning, and you can see the roadside memorial here. And then the candles, the ones that withstood the overnight rain, you can clearly see there's some flames going on right now, and all the flowers. This whole neighborhood has been rocked by what happened. In fact, before I show you the footage on Friday, look at this. They even have signs out, drive like your kids live here. They have 24-hour video surveillance, and I don't think they have that, but I did see something this morning that I didn't see yesterday. They have a security guard walking around this area, probably hired by people around here just to tell people to slow down. Now, let me show you a video of what happened on Friday. We covered this as breaking news on the KRON4 Morning Show. An 8-year-old was killed, and then his babysitter in the hospital with a broken leg. This all happened at around 8 o'clock in the morning, just down the street from Castlemont Elementary. They were in a marked crosswalk when all of a sudden a woman makes a left turn, slams into them. The little boy was rushed to the hospital, but eventually died from his injuries. The woman, believed to be in her 40s, she was also rushed to the hospital. She survived her injuries, but we are hearing that she has a broken leg. As far as the female driver, well, she stayed at the scene. She cooperated with police officers. They say drugs and alcohol were not factors in all of this. They're still looking into the cause of it, but they did tweet out, James and Daria, drive slowly around school zones. And I can tell you the latest update on this case is this case has been turned over to the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office for them to decide if any charges will be filed against the woman. But you can clearly see this is a reminder for here and for all the parents out there going through the school zones all over the Bay Area. Just drive slowly. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Will.
Time now is 5:06, and today a Danville middle school teacher is going to be arraigned in Contra Costa County, charged with 2 counts of committing lewd acts on minors. 33-year-old Nicholas Mosby is accused of sending pornographic videos to children. The county's district attorney says that he used social media to send the videos to 2 different children in August and earlier this month. And at the time, Mosby was a biology teacher at Diablo Vista Middle School and also worked as a cheerleading coach at NorCal Elites in San Ramon. He's being held now at the detention center in Martinez on $200,000 bail. And developing news in the Alameda County area, the sheriff's office there investigating a shooting, death that happened in San Lorenzo. It's a possible case of road rage, they say. Deputies responded to the intersection of Hesperian Boulevard and Llewellyn Boulevard. It was around 4:30 in the afternoon yesterday. A man had been shot there. Paramedics immediately responded, pronounced him dead at the scene. The suspect involved fled the scene towards Interstate 880.
In the North Bay, a 29-year-old man injured in a shooting in Vallejo last Wednesday has now died. Police say it happened on Springs Road around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That man was rushed to the hospital with at least one gunshot wound. The victim died from his injuries yesterday. No word on a suspect at this point. Investigators trying to determine a motive. This is the city's 19th homicide of the year.
Time now is 5:07 and new this morning. Teachers in San Francisco, they're getting a pay raise.
Yeah, the school district and the teachers union have reached a tentative deal over the weekend to give educators a pay increase, which is something they were looking for.
KRON reporter Sarah Stinson live in the newsroom with the details. Hi, Sarah.
Good morning. Teachers have secured a 6% raise in a new agreement with the San Francisco Unified School District. Substitutes will also get the raise as well. Teachers will receive back pay as well. There we go. Substitute teachers will also receive this money, and they'll be receiving this back pay from July 1st. The union president says this is a much needed raise, and it's one step to ensure educators can stay in the district. This school year's agreement also gives teachers more time to prep for classes each week. The district will also be piloting a dedicated core substitute program in the coming semester. This would place substitutes that would stay at certain schools, and this is to make sure that across the district they have teachers available in case a teacher is absent. The union pointed out that this tentative agreement is the closing of the current contract with the SFUSD, which they extended through 2023. But keep in mind, in the spring, a new contract will be negotiated yet again. Teachers say this is just the beginning of fighting for more for not only the teachers, but for students as well. Let's take a look. The superintendent, Dr. Matt Wayne, says this, quote, "This agreement is an important investment in our educators and an important step for SFUSD to attract and retain talented professionals. I want to thank our educators who continue to teach and nurture students every day in SFUSD schools and classrooms." Union leaders say the San Francisco Board of Education will vote on the tentative agreement tomorrow night. For now, I'm Sarah Stinson reporting live in the newsroom. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
The Cal State school system faces some financial trouble. The CSU Board of Trustees voted on Wednesday to request $530 million for a new operating budget, and that's to cover raises, improve facilities, and graduation rates. Students from CSU Long Beach staged a walkout last week because they called lack of air conditioning and inadequate conditions of dorms and classrooms. They want to call attention to that. Campus officials identified a backlog of about $6 billion needed to update facilities built between the 50s and the 1970s.
5:10 is the time, and want to take you back live to London now, where we're following the procession of Queen Elizabeth's casket from the funeral services this morning now towards Buckingham Palace. They're on Circle Drive, passing right in front of the palace. Let's take a listen in.
seen my new phone yet? It like folds in half.
I would never switch to Samsung. I love my phone.
What?
Let's check on 680 Dublin down to Fremont. You're at about 14 minutes. Daria, James, back to you.
Thanks a lot. It is 5:48, and the big story we're following right now is the Queen's funeral, which has happened this morning. And these are people waiting at the castle, Windsor Castle. The hearse is going to be driven to Windsor Castle. It's going to take about an hour, and then all of these people that are lining the 3-mile drive will be able to say their final goodbyes as well before there's a private ceremony.
Yeah, and as Daria mentioned earlier, this final stretch will be carried out on foot. With the Queen's casket being rolled by and the royal family behind on foot, walking and marching as well. So that'll be the final moments for people to say goodbye.
And we've been covering it live with Justin Campbell, who we sent to London for this. And you've got Westminster behind you. What's going on now with the 2,000 people, including dignitaries and our own president, who are inside, Justin?
Yeah, that's right, Daria and James. You can hear the bells behind me at Westminster Abbey right now, where that state funeral wrapped up about an hour and a half ago. But we wanted to take you to live pics. These bells are ringing as the coffin has been loaded into a hearse. That hearse is now making its way towards Windsor Castle. People are lining the road, and there are people, if we have some video we can show you, outside of Windsor Castle that are already there as the coffin makes its way there. As you said earlier, 2,000 people invited, the royal family invited to this funeral. 500 of them were foreign dignitaries. U.S. President Biden was here. He was allowed to bring the beast. That is something that they were asking people, not every foreign dignitary, to bring their presidential limo due to the amount of security and space to make this funeral happen. It was a big undertaking. We'll also show you some video. I want to take you to what happened earlier today at the start of the funeral. Now, if you look at it, the Queen lied in state for 4 days this morning. Then her coffin was moved inside of Westminster Abbey. Members of the royal family followed behind her casket. You can see King Charles, Prince Harry, and Prince William inside, President Joe Biden, other dignitaries. Lots of music, singing to remember the 70 years of service that she gave to the nation as a queen.
With gratitude, we remember her unswerving commitment to a high calling over so many years as Queen and head of the Commonwealth. With admiration, we recall her lifelong sense of duty and dedication to her people.
And right now, as I mentioned earlier, the hearse is making its way towards Windsor Castle. There will be a private burial there attended by the King and members of the family, of the royal family. James and Daria?
Hey, Justin, can you just give us a little an idea of the amount of people? Because we can see them in Windsor, but you're at Westminster, where also there were hundreds of thousands, and they're still lining the streets. It's a bank holiday. No one is working today. What's it like?
Yeah, there's so many people here that when you're going by Buckingham Palace or in this area, sometimes you'll have trouble with cell phone service. I've been here all week. People are here. They're waiting for hours to use the bathroom. People have traveled from across the world, but it's one of those things, if you're coming here, it's a historic moment. And so they know that when they're here, they're waiting for hours just to get that one chance to see the coffin coming by in gun carriage. And that is something to them that is just worth maybe that 5 seconds, but it is a historic moment. 70 years as queen of the monarch, and people are here, and to them it has been worth every second for them to be here.
Yeah, they all want to be a part of history. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you.
Turns out, by the way, James, we were talking about on Friday with the viewing.
Yeah.
It was 7.5 miles.
Incredible.
And I think they said about 700,000 people got to see
5:53 is the time. We'll be right back.